In the headlines, kidnappers abduct couple, 5-month-old child in Abuja. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arraigned suspended DCP Abba Kyari before Federal High Court. Saudi Arabia opens Hajj to foreign participation after 2 years. And Moscow to open humanitarian corridors as preparation for third round of peace talks commence. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. Now, a couple, Hezekiah Francis, his wife Josephine Hezekiah, and their 5-month-old child Haniel Hezekiah have been abducted from their residence at Abattoir New Extension in Abaji metropolis of Abuja on Friday night. Reports say while the man's wife and the child were released after walking some few meters away from their house, the husband is still said to still be with the abductors. According to reports, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command spokesperson DSP Josephine Ade earlier dismissed the report, noting that there is no such incident within the FCT. Narrating her ordeal, the victim's wife said the armed kidnappers scaled over the fence to gain entry into the house, and while some of them surrounded the house, others who got in destroyed the bungalow of their windows from where they entered into the room. Meanwhile, Ade assured that the command would not rest on its oars in ensuring that all criminal activities are rooted in the capital city, adding that all boundaries that link Abuja with other states are being closely monitored by the vigilant officers of the command. Elsewhere, Irigwe Development Association has condemned the killing of herders' cattle and the destruction of farm crops across the Mayanga community of Basa local government area of Plateau State. The Secretary General of the group, Danjuma Auta, in a statement alleged that the killing might have been carried out by youth who were provoked by the activities of herders in the area. Ado Musa gives an update on this.
On Wednesday, government stormed the general area of Mayanga community of Basa local government area of Plateau State. According to the leadership of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MAGBAN, when the government stormed the area, they started shooting at the cattle while grazing. Malanura Abdullahi, who is the state chairman of MAGBAN, told Trust TV that they have lost almost 100 cows in the incident, while about 100 are still missing. Malanura accused Irigwe ethnic group of launching the attack. But the Secretary General of Irigwe Ethnic Group, Danjuma Dixon Auta, denied the allegation, saying that the attack was not launched by members of Irigwe Ethnic Group. He went further to say that the attack was probably carried out by individuals who may have been provoked by the activities of herders in the area. This attack is coming barely 2 weeks after the General Officer Commanding 3 Division, who doubles as the commander of Operation Safe-Haven, a multi-security task force in the state, Major General Ibrahim Ali, inaugurated a committee who will guide the implementation of some of the recommendations given by the Assist Member Committee set up by him sometimes last year.
Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC in Zamfara State, has paraded 18 suspects for offences ranging from vandalism, theft, criminal conspiracy and hibernation, amongst others. The Public Relations Officer of the State's Command, Iko Oche, who paraded the suspects on behalf of the Commandant, Akushi Sparks, said the Corps' fight against criminality is aligned with the commitment to rid the state of all forms of criminalities. The report.
Zamfara State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps vowed to eliminate criminals and criminalities in the state. It is against this background that the operatives of the Corps apprehended suspected groups of criminal gangs undergoing investigation. The Public Relations Officer of the Corps, who represented the state's commandant, said 3 suspects were arrested from Kara village of Wenki district of Gusau local government area of the state for criminal conspiracy, vandalizing electric wires, and theft. While some group belonging to a gang of thieves were also arrested at the just concluded 36th International Maulud Ceremony ground on Saturday, while they were attempting to steal phones of innocent participants. According to the Corps, the suspects hired a bus from Zaria in Kaduna State to Zamfara State to commit mischief at the Maulud ground. Those arrested include Abba Wadatu Maiguru, 21 years old, Aliu Shehu, 18 years old, Abubakar Salisu, 27 years old, Nasura Habibu, 26 years old, Yahaya Shehu, 19 years old, and Aminu Lawali, 18 years old.
The Corps is not relaxing in its house in ensuring that elements of criminality in Zamfara State is nipped at the bud. Here today we have 4 categories of offenders who have categorically been arrested, and preliminary investigation has been done. Here we have some group of young men who specialize in vandalization of public properties, government properties. As you all are aware, the Corps is saddled with the responsibility of provision of constant and effective protection of national assets. It's one of our core mandates. And also, we are also saddled with the responsibility of fighting against vandals.
The spokesman of the command further said 4 other suspects who specialize in pickpocketing and stealing of handsets were also nabbed by operatives of the Corps at the venue of the Maulud ceremony, among others. The public relations officer said the suspects will be charged to court when investigations are concluded. He, however, warned all miscreants that Zamfara is not a safe haven for criminals to hibernate. Therefore, asked them to relocate from Zamfara State, as the Corps is poised to arrest them from their hideouts.
We have another gang of thieves who also chartered vehicle all the way from Kaduna Zaria and took themselves to Zamfara here during the period of Maulid, also to commit other kind of mischiefs and other kind of heinous crimes. They were also apprehended by the men of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps at the Maulid ground, and they were brought to the office here for further investigation. We deem it fit to parade them because we want the public to know what these men are up to and what civil defense have done for the society.
Suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police DCP Abakari and 6 others charged with dealing in 17.55 kilograms of cocaine have been arraigned before a federal high court in Abuja on Monday. They were brought into the courtroom around in 2 batches of 4 and 2 by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA. The 7 defendants are arraigned on an 8-count charge filed by the NDLEA. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has intercepted at least 294,440 tablets of tramadol, diazepam, Swinol, Rohypnol, and Exol-5, along with other illicit drugs in major operations across the country. Director, Media and Advocacy NDLEA Femi Babafemi stated this in a statement on Sunday in Abuja. Babafemi said that the operations were carried out in Delta, Bauchi, and the Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. According to him, in Delta, the operative arrested 1 Christian owner conveying drugs to Benin and Onitsha, Anambra State, at Isiala Azagba Junction with 23,160 tablets of Swinol and 66,000 tablets of Rohypnol, both weighing 71.6 kilograms. In another arrest, the operatives arrested a commercial vehicle from Onitsha heading to Ibadan, Oyo State, at Abraka Junction, Asaba, with 78,000 capsules of tramadol, while about 5,000 tablets of diazepam and 79,500 tablets of Exol-5 were also seized, and a suspect, Olanio Sunday, was also arrested. The operatives arrested 1 female suspect, Patricia Sadua, with 233,000.7 kilograms cannabis in Orogun community close to Abbey Town in Kwale local government area of Delta State, among others. Away from seizures now, foreign pilgrims would partake in the 2022 Hajj exercise after 2 years suspension of pilgrimage to the two holy mosques due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, in a statement issued by its head of public affairs, Fatima Usara, on Sunday said the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah would also set the revised quota for each country to be released by the ministry in due course. The Commission says guidelines for the 2022 Hajj will be released after the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding with the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. NACON's chairman Zikrullah Hassan, while rejoicing with Muslims all over the world on the announcement, urged intending pilgrims to desist from traveling with prohibited items into the kingdom, such as illicit drugs and kola nuts. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up, why governors hesitate to sign death warrants. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay.
The idea was to give the interim government confidence that there is somebody, a military man, who is well known, who can be accepted.
You alluded to the case of your son, Umar Farooq. Are you in touch with him?
Yes, he phones us 2 times, sometimes 3 times in a month.
As always, when I'm talking about late Abiola, I still thank my God for directing me on things to do when he gave me that leadership of this country.
Many of you honest Fulanis, you allow this man to cast aspersion on you.
You know, Zamfara is the mother of all bandits.
The biggest problem, if you permit me, is the fact that we have not been able to get the totality of our citizenry.
It's very, very difficult to have a fixed mind like that this one you will hand over to this person because you think he will do better.
I don't see myself under no circumstance ever leaving APC for another political party.
Here on the Mambila Plateau. And this is where the hydroelectric power dam is supposed to be constructed.
Most people in Nigeria are ignorant of the fact that employing a child as a maid is in fact against the law.
Access to the textile mill has been very difficult.
I believe, or I think, that if you want to make money, it should be in a place where there are not plenty of people that can do what you do.
From the way things are happening now, I don't think the two parties will make any impact.
I've been talking about the updates concerning the campaign of Nigerian Super Eagles in Abuja.
Bola Tinubu has informed President Muhammadu Buhari of his ambition to contest for the position of president.
To be self-reliant, a blind man defies all odds to become a carpenter in Gombe State.
The country is now experiencing a 4th wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
Talks are ongoing between NRC management and the union.
All right, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Here are our top stories. A couple, Hezekiah Francis, his wife Josephine Hezekiah, and their 5-month-old child have been abducted from their residence at Abatua New Extension in Abaji metropolis of Abuja on Friday night. Suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abakari, and 6 others charged with dealings in 17.55 kilograms of cocaine have been arraigned before a federal high court in Abuja on Monday. Still ahead, Nigeria has recorded 17 COVID-19 infections across 4 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control stated this in its Sunday, 6th March update. The NCDC data showed 28 persons were discharged after they recovered from the infection, with no death, leaving the total number of fatalities at 3,142. In total, over 200,000 cases have been confirmed, with over 200,000 recoveries. Similarly, Nigeria Center for Disease Control latest epidemiological report shows that Lassa fever killed 98 Nigerians in 15 states in the last 2 months. The report says since the beginning of the year, 40 confirmed cases of Lassa fever were reported from 21 states and 79 local government areas, while 559 persons are currently undergoing treatment at treatment centers across the country, with 38 healthcare workers being affected so far. Meanwhile, a total of 90 confirmed new infections were reported in 1 week between February 21st to 27th, 2022. Also in the said week, 12 deaths were recorded in 6 states, which are Ondo, Edo, Bauchi, Benue, Ebonyi, and Kogi states. Number of convicts on death row in various prisons across Nigeria is increasing, contributing to congestion in some cases. Now, legal experts want adoption of measures to address the challenge of death sentence execution. Speaking to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman, respondents say a total overhaul of Nigeria's justice system is imperative to speedy dispensation and execution of death sentences to serve as deterrents in combating criminal activities in the country.
Section 33 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, deals specifically with right to life, a fundamental human right backed by both domestic and international laws. But there is a limitation to this fundamental right as captured in subsections 1 and 2 if a person commits crimes such as murder, treason, armed robbery, mutiny, amongst others. Complying with these provisions may be giving birth to a rising number of convictions, especially in the criminal justice sector. But those saddled with the responsibility of implementing the sentence tend to hesitate in signing such warrants. What could have been responsible for this?
Once a person is sentenced to death, a state governor is expected to sign the warrant. After signing the warrant, there's a hangman in the prison service who is supposed to, upon a date given by the prison service, the person is supposed to hang as enunciated by the judge. But so far in the last 20 years, what we are even told is that there are no hangmen in Nigerian prison.
The jurisprudence in Nigeria is such that when you look at it, it is giving you one thing with one hand and taking it away with the other hand. For example, why is the reason why a court declares the judicial sector of the government, which is an independent arm, why would it require the approval of the executive arm for it to be implemented?
And the essence of law everywhere is for deterrence, in order to checkmate people, to make people to conduct themselves within the ambit of the law.
With the mounting number of inmates in Nigeria's correctional services, which is put at 56,700 in 2015, coupled with the changing nature of crimes and criminality such as terrorism, kidnapping, and cyber-related crimes, experts say overhauling the criminal justice system is a must to capture the current realities.
Take the insurgency, for example. 13 years ago, when the Boko Haram started, there is no clear, uninhibited, fundamental prosecution and conviction of a Boko Haram member. 13 years after, we have not had that. Most of these insurgents that you call them insurgents, we only see that they are arrested and paraded at police headquarters. But we have not seen where they are being prosecuted and even convicted.
Even the dead demands justice, because the person that killed the dead should equally be killed. An eye for an eye, a hand for a hand, life for life. If in a situation whereby you have killed me and then my corpse is there, my spirit, my soul is there, and then you are saying that the person that killed me shouldn't be killed, my soul will never rest in peace. My spirit will never rest in peace.
Another consequence of this is that it's going to create impunity, because people know that even after committing such heinous offense, which the penalty is death, they know at the end of the day the governor are not going to sign it. So it will encourage them to operate with impunity.
Even as pressure continued to mount from liberal international communities on the need to abrogate capital punishment, Nigeria and several others, including the United States, China, and Saudi Arabia, recognize death penalty. In Nigeria, however, absence of effective implementation mechanism constitutes an impediment.
These are some of the problems of having what I will call cultural, democratic, constitutional imperialism. That is what we are seeing now. You are importing a culture that is, an anathema, repugnant to the history, to the culture, to the costumes, to the character, and to the expectations of your citizenry.
The lacuna we are having is the ability of the governors to demonstrate sufficient political will to assign their signature to such a judgment, so that the death penalty can be carried out.
Though Amendment of Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 by the National Assembly is done to capture some contemporary crimes like terrorism and kidnapping, experts say such must be consolidated to stem the tide of ritual killings now assuming frightening dimension.
It is very, very important that our legislators should take up the gauntlet, do the needful, look at the issues pertaining to the conditions of our people, the living daily practical conditions, and then come up with updated laws such that can take care of the many issues that are bedeviling us.
It is imperative on our own political leaders, whether executive, whether legislature, whether judiciary, to look into all these issues. Any legislation or any piece of law, whether constitution or statutory, that is having any vestige of imperialism.
At the moment, there are about 3,000 inmates on the nation's death row awaiting execution without clear-cut timeline of implementation. A situation legal experts say breeds criminality and impunity amongst the society. In Niger State, for instance, many death warrants are awaiting governor's assent. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
There you go. Elsewhere, Gombe State government says over 6 billion barrels of oil has been confirmed at the Kolmani oil field by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Governor Inuwa Yahaya lamented the delay in the exploration, which he attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. Ibrahim Ismail reports from Gombe.
Speaking at a civic reception in honor of a former acting chief judge of Gombe State, Muazu Pindiga, at the palace of the Emir of Pindiga, Governor Inuwa Yahaya said the oil already discovered by the NNPC will be harnessed.
Abun da ya shafi harkar mai yana karkashin gwamnatin tarayya. To amma dai
oil exploration is under the federal government, but the pandemic is the reason for the delay. However, I am optimistic.
Amma na tabbatar an sa hima ya zuwa yanzu.
The NNPC confirmed over 6 billion barrels of oil. We must do the needful as leaders. We can't relent, and by the grace of Allah, our people will benefit. The Emir of Pindiga has earlier called on the state government to provide some social amenities to the host communities.
From here, this palace to where these oil rigs are, it's only a question of 23 kilometers from here. So we are urging the state government to construct the access road from here to the main oil fields. Because without this access road, the community is still lagging behind, and even some of the farm products are not readily cannot be transported easily.
In 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off oil exploration at the Kolmani area in Gombe State. But it's more than 3 years since the flag off. Governor Inuwa Yahaya admitted that there is a delay caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected the exploration exercise. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And in business, banks borrowing from the Central Bank of Nigeria fell for the second consecutive month in February by 47% to 666 billion, driven by further improvement in the level of liquidity in the interbank system. Data from the CBN show that banks borrowing through repo arrangement dropped significantly by 47% month-on-month in February to 480.35 billion from 952.79 trillion in January. On the other hand, the banks increased deposits of their idle funds with the CBN by 80% to 489.05 billion in February. Earlier in January, banks borrowing from the Apex banks fell by 46% to 1.3 trillion, while their deposits rose by 29% to 272 billion. And on the foreign scene, Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement on Monday that it will open humanitarian corridors to allow the evacuation of civilians from several Ukrainian cities. Experiencing heavy fighting, including the capital Kiev and the besieged port city of Mariupol. Moscow said the decision is taken after a personal request by French President Emmanuel Macron to Russia's Vladimir Putin. After nearly 2 weeks of war, Ukraine and Russia are expected to meet for the third round of negotiations, which both sides said could take place on Monday. The location and exact time for the talks are unclear. The two delegations last met in the Brest region in western Belarus for 2 rounds of peace talks and agreed to have humanitarian corridors in place in the embattled cities of Mariupol and Volnovakha to facilitate the evacuation of civilians. And that's it on News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Stay tuned.